And here we go, getting everything set up. Counteract versus Vortex Gaming, European Rainbow Six League, ERSL. Perfect. Good evening, everybody. Or for those of you tuning in so far, I'm just about to ping out a blast to everybody to get people in on the stream. Hello, we have the first person joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody this evening? Hope you are all doing well. We've got an exciting game coming up for you all today. Today sees Counteract versus Vortex Gaming. Two teams that are likely to be well balanced against one another, so we should be down for some good siege today, which I'm very much excited to be casting this game for you guys today. The bans haven't come out yet from either side. They've decided that, you know what, we're going to wait to do the map bans right until the last minute, so we have them ready to do the map bans. So I will be giving you a walkthrough of the map bans we will see coming out between these two teams as, of course, we progress. Yeah, you better bugger off before the game gets going. I'll get the predictions underway nice and soon for those of you that want to get them sorted before we go in. Oh, how's everybody today though? Nice. What day is it? It's Thursday. Goodness me. I feel like my week's just been going on for so long, but I still feel like I'm somewhere near the start of it rather than at the end, which, as I'm sure for those of you that do follow the league quite closely, you will be aware that this is actually the first game of this week's fixtures, which is quite surprising that we're all the way on Thursday, and this is the first game we will be seeing tonight. Well, for this entire week's worth of fixtures. That's partially due to the fact that we've had some delays with getting all of the games sorted, but now that they are all sorted and underway, there should be, I believe there is a game almost every night from here until Sunday for this league. So for those of you that are wanting to keep track of all those, then of course then there is stuff that will be linked on the Discord if you're part of that, although if you are not, then hopefully you should see, when you go onto my Twitch, you should see if I'm hosting a channel. Often the channels that I'm hosting will be the ones that are streaming this stuff. So yes, if you guys want to go over there and watch it, then that would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, how is everybody today? Nice to see you all pouring into the chat and into the viewership. Give us a shout out for those of you who are regular visitors and coming back. We are still about 5 to 10 minutes away from the start of this game because both of these teams have not done their map bans yet, so it's all a bit of a surprise exactly what maps you're going to be seeing coming out between these two teams in their best of two tonight. Perfect. Off you go then, Maz. Right. We are about to get underway with the picks and bans. Let's see whether you guys can maybe guess something in the chat about what maps we're going to be seeing tonight. Facing off between these two teams. Anyway, while they're just sorting out exactly what they're going to be banning, I just want to say a big thank you to Siegewold and Aiden1968, who have both followed since I was last online. Thank you very much, you two, for following if you are in the chat, and if you're not, then apologies that you missed your shout out. So far, though, the first ban coming out on the side of Vortex Gaming, we see Cafe wiped off the board. Coastline is then swiftly followed up on the side of Counteract. The next ban coming away on the side of Vortex will then be Villa. And the fourth ban coming out from Counteract will be that of Consulate. This leaves Oregon, Theme Park, and Clubhouse left on the board. Two of those maps will be picked, and the final one will be Void and will not be seen played tonight. But we shall see which ones are being picked. And the first one being picked on the side of Vortex Gaming will be Theme Park, which is quite useful since that's the one that I'm currently sat at waiting. And on the side of Counteract, we see them picking Oregon. Therefore, what was the final one? Clubhouse is Void today, so we will not see any Clubhouse. Instead, we will be seeing Theme Park, and then Oregon. Counteract have decided to start on defense first, so I will get that all changed over, and now we just have to wait for Vortex to decide who is on OT. No need to swap, Connor. I can do it. Oh, have they all swapped now? Yeah, apart from Weasty. Oh, they just make my life so blooming complicated. What's your OT side, Maz? Awesome, we have everything now set and ready to go. I've just got to get everything sorted out now. Are both teams on the right side? Yes, indeed they are. So we will be seeing Vortex Gaming starting on the offensive, and then in the overtime we'll see them swapping across to the defensive. So there we go, that's all set up and ready to go. I hope everybody who's tuned in so far is all sitting comfortably and are ready to go. I will quickly get some predictions going before we jump into this one. Game 1 win, and it will be a Counteract win, or will it be a Vortex win? I'm putting this one on for 20 minutes so you can see a few rounds into the game before you place your vote down, but there you are, all the predictions are out there ready for you to spend your lovely channel points on. If Lydia's in the chat today, then I'm sure you should vote on the opposite side to what Lydia's voting on, because so far she is, every time, even when I'm in a ranked game, she's put her money on us losing, so of course we end up winning that ranked game. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, just confirming that both teams are ready, and once that is sorted and underway, we will get into this first game between Counteract and Vortex Gaming. It's nice to see all of you pouring into the chat today. Great to see you all. If you want to drop some stuff into the chat to say hi, that'd be greatly appreciated. Just waiting for the go-ahead from Maz, and then we will be ready to go on this one. Let me just double check that there's nothing else that I've missed. Nothing so far. Yep, everybody's ready to go, so let's dive into this one as we go to map number 1, which sees us on Theme Park. Vortex Gaming versus Counteract Esports, or just Counteract, I'm not actually sure, to be perfectly honest. It's going to be an interesting matchup today between these two teams. They are relatively evenly matched. Certainly the predictions have put them quite close together. Will, of course, we see one dominate the other, or will we actually see quite a close matchup all the way until the overtime, or just the end of the game? Hey, Apathiel, why are you not playing? Why am I not playing? I am not on either the Vortex roster or the Counteract roster in this league, so I am casting for today. So we see the first ban coming out on the side of Counteract, getting rid of that Ying off the board. They've certainly seen how Vortex Gaming like to play. I remember from one of my first casts of Vortex Gaming, they went to Coastline, and we saw Game On, who is playing for them today, bring in that Ying relatively often. Maybe not always using it to its best ability, but certainly removing it off the board now completely takes that threat away. And with the ban coming out from Vortex Gaming removing Jackal off the board does mean that Thatcher is available. Therefore making it maybe a different approach that Counteract want to be taking on their defensive side, whether that be starting downstairs in the throne room, or whether that be going upstairs. Since the Thatcher is left on the board, of course, a loss of those reinforced walls, if there's any ward now being used on it, can be more easily opened. However, we'll see what exactly Counteract and also Vortex, when they go onto the defending side, put in place to try and counter this Thatcher still being left available on the board. The final ban coming out, that being of Mirror. Of course, a lot of Mirror strats being played on this top floor of this map, as this first map we're starting on today is Theme Park. Of course, taking that Mirror off the board does mean that neither team can use it, but of course that may play it more into the hands of one team than another, especially one that may or may not have relied on that Mirror in one of their setups. Of course, now removing her off the board means that she's not playable, and the other defensive ban that I completely missed was that of Melusi. Obviously, nobody today wants to play against that that operator, of course, until the next season comes out and the possible test server balancing that we've seen. I'm sure those of you that pay attention to the seeding news have seen Her Melusis are going to be a lot less deadly than they are now, but certainly at the moment you can place them anywhere. They're indestructible unless you fire explosives at them or knife them. But from next season, of course, if the changes are pushed through, then you can shoot them when they're activated. This means that when, of course, they start going off, they start vibrating, they cause all that noise, they will open up, allowing you to shoot them and destroy them in the process. But of course, for now, they are a relatively annoying threat that can, of course, cause some big issues on the sides of either of these teams, which is why we saw Vortex Gaming, I believe, just completely banning off the board, deciding not to bother with it. Starting upstairs in the bunk and daycare, we do see a setup coming out here from Counteract, which is normally expected to see with a mirror being in play. Normally you would have a mirror over here in this office, often putting a mirror window on a half wall here looking into cache, but of course a mirror being banned off, that does mean that she's not available. So a slightly different hold is being brought out here, where they are reinforcing and castling off certain areas of the map to extend that site somewhat, but of course they do not have the mirror to use on these walls to try and stop, of course, people pushing in, and using those mirrors to try and stop, well, just peek out and shoot them. So instead they've fully reinforced the walls, especially here in the initiation room. Normally that would be a singular wall with a mirror on it, but now it is 2 full reinforcements that have been invested into that location. Rotate's currently being put out there by the side of Connor. Maybe not the best rotates in the game. You can do that in 4 shots, Connor. There's still a little bit that may screw them over later, but already we start seeing Vortex Gaming getting up onto this roof on the eastern side, deciding to go for a cache and control room push. Still having all of their drones on the board as well by the looks of it, having kept them either in pocket or just nice and safe until they start entering sight, as they now see 2 operators, Shink and the Nomads of Fizzle, dropping that hatch and deciding exactly how they're going to be pushing onto this wall. The Cade of Unique has actually used one of his Cade devices on the wall over here, stopping that ace from being used at the moment. Does mean that Game On will have to rotate around here to get it open. But as this singular soft wall was left open on the waiting room area, it has now been blown open by Breach Charge from the IQ. But now the Clash is contesting aggressively. She's now shut down, but a nice swing there from Weasty Bings shuts down Maz completely, and Game On is left on the tiniest slither of health as well, taking a lot of damage from some angles behind him. They have opened this top yellow angle now with 1 ace charged. There are 2 left in pockets, but of course, with the Thatcher being left on so health, it's going to be quite dangerous to know exactly where they're going to push to try and get some more utility wasted or start opening some walls or destroying shields, whatever they wish to use that ace for. Fizzle is still playing around the top of it, but Weasty gets another nice little pick there onto the head of Game On. Of course, he was on such low health, it's very easy for him to be taken out. But with Real Nincompoop, of course, playing the Clash here, you see Unique also collecting himself a kill on the other side of the map, but Real Nincompoop just managing to keep 2 members of Vortex Gaming, the remaining 2 members of Vortex Gaming, just completely stuck in this control room. They're just wasting time for as long as possible. With 1 minute left on the clock, he's certainly doing his job so far, and he still has the likes of Weasty Bins playing just behind him, ready to, of course, pre-fire and shoot onto anybody who decides to push in on that position. But a flash, completely blind, Weasty cannot see, but a flank now coming out from Connor is pushing around. The Nomad is watching it, so Connor will fall to that flank. But now Vortex deciding exactly what they want to do here. It seems like Sixpack has given up and is wanting to jump out. Yes, he's gone. Jumps outside, maybe going on to that rappel, deciding exactly what he wants to be doing here, going back to the roof, maybe deciding on a different push. But with 30 seconds left on the clock, with 20 seconds left on the clock now, in fact, they need to make a decision on exactly where they're going to be pushing and exactly what they want to do. And it seems like they're going for a full rotate all the way over to cache in the very last remaining seconds. 15 seconds now left on the clock. They need to decide exactly what they're going to do here. There's not much time to execute on site, and the person with diffuser, no one actually has diffuser in hand. It's currently left in that stock room. Unfortunately not able to pick the kill here. Fizzle getting a double, but still with 2 members left on the side of Counteract. Does mean that round number 1 goes in favour of Counteract. Vortex Gaming, of course, just hitting that solid wall of Clash and not able to push any further into that site. Unable to get the plant down. And unfortunately did mean that so much time was wasted there on the side of Counteract. Even though kills were picked up towards the end, they just didn't really mean very much because Diffuser was not in hand, it was not able to get planted, and they certainly couldn't win on kills, as the last 2 remaining members of Counteract were just sitting pretty safely in a corner where they could not be shot. Well played there on the side of Counteract. Do bear with me just a moment, just checking something. There we go. Yes indeed, Shag. God, imagine using Clash so scummy. Yeah, you would definitely never do it, would you? Come on, lads, bring it home for me. Hey, nice to see you today, Harry. How you doing? By the way, for those of you watching today, as always, I will politely ask you if, of course, you are enjoying what you're seeing today and you would like to share this channel/content with anybody else that you think might be interested, then please do feel free to share the link to my channel with other people, whether they be friends or family, just to try and get me a little bit more viewership. It is greatly appreciated. Of course, if there is nobody who would want to watch this content, then no worries. No worries, I'll let you off. Curly Whirly, not Harry, please. I'm sorry, man. I thought you were playing today, but obviously... Oh yeah, of course you had the PT stuff, so you're not able to actually play in this roster today. Anyway, we now see Counteract going down onto the basement site. Of course, playing it in the throne and... What's the other room called? I can't quite remember. Armory. Throne and armory sites here. Once again, wall denial being brought out, but of course not necessarily the most useful of wall denial. Because, of course, we see that Thatcher is left on the board and currently being played by the likes of Game On. Of course, we didn't really see it coming into its own in the previous round. Of course, Game On was shut down relatively easily, and on top of that, the Thatchers were not necessarily used to help open any of the walls, as the walls that were being pushed by Vortex Gaming were not bandited or muted or any other sort of wall denial, meaning that an easy opening was able to occur. We now see Oshink actually pushing in quite aggressively into this cafe area. But engagement between Connor and Sixpack currently going very much in favour of Sixpack, of course, leaving Connor on about 20 health. He does see the drone in bunk. Maybe not quite realising exactly where it's been pushed, but Little Dart getting a nice little early pick there onto the head of Oshink. That looks like it was at the top of Yellow Stairs. Putting that diffuser on the ground and, of course, collecting the opening kill for the side of Counteract. Very well played there. Also taking the one and only hard breach off the board completely for the likes of Vortex Gaming, which of course is going to become crucial for them pushing into this armory and throne site. Normally what you'd want to do is bring as many hard breaches as you can to try and get open the barrels and maintenance wall, but unfortunately now with Ace being completely taken off the board and also the Thatcher as well being picked up by Connor on the top floor, means that there is no wall that now will be opened by the likes of Vortex Gaming. That with the Zoth, Ash and Nomads being left on the board, they are just going to have to frag their way into sight and just try and get the kills as they begin to execute. But of course, with only 2 entry points really being available, as even that hatch now being reinforced remains a closed option for them. Now try and maybe pick some kills off from these vertical angles, but with 1 minute left on the clock, they really should be starting to progress onto site. And if all their soft breach is used, as Weesey gets a beautiful headshot through the floor there onto the head of Sixpack. Of course, if all their soft breach is used, then they won't be able to get into sight, but of course the castle barricade at the bottom of Dragon has now been taken out. 2v5 though, now being left in favour of Counteract, does mean it's going to be very hard for the 2 remaining members of Vortex Gaming to actually attack into this site and push through that singular doorway. Once again, we see contesting through the floor onto the likes of Fizzle. Not taking much damage in the process there, as he'd already taken the damage from the previous engagement, but now Maz and Fizzle have to decide exactly how they're going to execute through this door. But with 5 remaining members of Counteract all watching that door from different angles, it's going to mean it's going to be very difficult for them to execute. With 15 seconds left on the round, they're deciding exactly how they're going to do it, and they say real nincompoop, swinging the door, takes the head off Maz, and now Fizzle is left in a 1v5. A win here would get in the clutch, but unfortunately only manages to collect 1 before Little Dark on the flank finishes him off with a beautiful headshot down the long corridor towards Dragon. And round number 2 falls in favour of Counteract. A very, very good defence there coming out from them, and their roamers doing the job that they needed to, picking up the opening frags. And of course taking out very crucial members of the Vortex Gaming lineup, meaning that those walls would remain closed and they could not get in apart from the one doorway, which was just a kill zone. Set up there perfectly by Counteract. Well played there on the side of Counteract to get that win under their belt. Hopefully, though, we don't see this game going so fully one-sided as it is currently showing, as we do want to see a Vortex, of course, bring the heat to the side of this Counteract team. But certainly the first time round, these teams are facing each other. They haven't really seen setups, and Theme Park having not been a map that has actually been played by either of these teams so far in this tournament. It is a bit of an unfamiliarity, or an unfamiliar territory for both of these teams. However, it certainly seems so far, with Counteract choosing the defensive, that they had some plans in pocket that they've brought to this one. Hopefully, though, we will see maybe Vortex Gaming, of course, getting a bit of a better advantage the second time round, as they will have already seen these sites. But hopefully, on the reverse side of that, Counteract are also able to bring their own small changes to their setups that will allow them to hopefully, when they come back to these sites, provide something different, a little extra spice to it that, of course, keeps Vortex on their toes and hopefully gives them that advantage. If they do exactly the same holds, exactly the same pushes, then of course it might be quite easy for Vortex to counter it, but of course that is yet to come. We are still only on round number 3, and with the current 2-0 2-round advantage we see on the side of Counteract. They are downstairs in the drug lab, drug storage site, setting up for another nice hold here. Once again we see 2 roamers on the side of Counteract. We see Little Dark, who's currently making some bullet holes on the cafe wall here, playing at the top of yellow stairs. We also see the likes of, I believe, the real Nincompoop, yes, playing all the way over in the top of Bunk, roaming with this Mozzie here, trying to, of course, deny some of those drones, but also run around and get kills. Connor, though, seems to also be on a bit of a roam and has managed to already pick up the head of Oshink. Once again, another very, very critical and crucial pick there coming out from the likes of Connor. Taking, once again, that only hard breach on the side of Vortex Gaming off of the board. This site is less important for, but still, losing your hard breach so early on and not actually having anything to answer for it. There's only maybe 70 points of damage have been done in return to Connor, so he's managed to walk away very nicely from that one. No refrag came out from the side of Vortex as well. Oh, and already Sixpack has pushed into a position and has fallen into a Frostmat. Didn't drone it out very well and is down in a Frostmat and locker room. That does mean that he will be able to be picked up, as there's no member of Counteract to capitalise on this, but being left on 20 health does mean that, of course, 1 bullet or 2 bullets could very easily down him. He does spot the frost of Connor Wilson, though, pushing up and is easily picked off at the bottom of yellow stairs. The call did come out, the drone ended, the timing on the drone was perfect, allowing Game On to, of course, collect that kill. There's still 1 roamer, though, the likes of Real Nincompoop, who is playing towards his barrel room, but a punch hole there might give his position away. Yes, indeed it does, but unfortunately no bullets were able to land onto his head from the likes of Maz, and at the same time he manages to actually open up, well, not open up, but grab a drone that was trying to be used as it pushed on into sight. Not many drones being left on the board. Still 6 left in hand, both either in pocket or out on the board at the moment on the side of Counteract. Not Counteract, sorry, Vortex Gaming. Does mean they have options, but with only 1 minute left on the clock, they need to start making something happen and an execute beginning onto this site. As we now see Real Nincompoop swinging onto Game On. Of course, Game On coming out worse in that engagement, as Nincompoop still has a bit of health left. And Little Dark upstairs on the row manages to pick up Sixpack. Weespins manages to refrag Nincompoop, who was taken out on the main stairs, and we now see a 3v2 situation. Little Dark playing up above in the top arcade area. Does see the Ash of Maz playing below, but Game On and such low health gets easily taken out by Weespins. Does Maz realise that there's 2 Frostmats there? I don't think so. He may walk into one of these now in his panic, but he now starts pushing on into the bathroom. With 20 seconds left, he's in a 1v2 situation. Weasty left on the tiniest slither of health, but Little Dark still has a lot of his health left and is now moving down back towards site. The diffuser is downed at the moment, though, and not in the hands of Maz. This has now been picked up, though. Maz has got the diffuser, and he's moving back into sight, going for this plant. But now Counteract just have to play time and execute, pushing on onto this man at the right time. But instead, Maz walks out in front of Little Dark, vaults up onto that air hockey table, and gets very quickly taken out by the 416 on the Jaeger. Another very well executed round there coming out from the side of Counteract. Being able to, of course, get that very good opening pick onto Oshink, once again, taking the only hard breach being bought by Vortex Gaming off of the board. Did, of course, slow their efforts somewhat, as once again they could only push through soft walls or doors, since they could not open any of the walls that had been reinforced by the likes of Counteract. Of course, it ended up being a lot closer there on the side of Vortex Gaming. They did nearly, of course, get that win, but after losing that man advantage, they were just not able to get the momentum and the picks that they needed off of the Counteract team to, of course, start bringing them back towards that advantage that they needed, i.e. bringing the scores back to even on the man count, or just getting ahead on the man count. Unfortunately, every time a kill was made by the side of Vortex Gaming, it was instantly fragged back by the likes of Counteract. Going on to round number 4 now, with 3 rounds under their belt so far on the side of Counteract. We see them going upstairs into the initiation office site. Of course, swapping things up a little bit, not deciding to go back to a bunk and daycare just yet, because they know exactly, well, The side of Vortex Gaming know exactly what's going to be set up on that side. So instead, they are bringing something slightly different and going for the initiation office site. Let's have a little look at you guys. What you're saying in chat. God, imagine these clashes coming. Trying to do a PC session, but being distracted by your great casting. Cheers, Curly. Greatly appreciate it, man. Monty, only hard breach you need. Yep, exactly, Chag. You said it. Exactly. 3.2k in Vortex. Connor lose it. Indeed. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it today, and thank you once again for tuning in, as always, as we now start this round properly. Some headholes being opened up on the side of Counteract. Using that Goyo shield right next to those headholes in the initiation wall does mean that they can see all the way through into control, and hopefully control that push by playing around this shield using the long angle. But of course, the advantage that they get from the shield is also given to the attackers, as they do have this impenetrable desk here in the control room that they can play behind. Meaning that, of course, this is just going to be a peekaboo whack-a-mole gunfight going on here until one player or the other collects the head of the other. Hey, Caswez. Cheers for tuning in today, bud. I couldn't English there for a second. Oshink on the harm's repel here. Well, should I say the... What's it called? Is it break room? I want to call it break room. The break room repel here. Firing shots through, but of course the Legion deciding to actually reinforce off that rotate, as now Bunk is relatively clear, as the likes of Counteract have now fallen back, reinforcing over that rotate, allowing Oshink to actually push into this meeting, to the break room. Apologies. But there is the likes of Connor currently being played below. Will we once again see Connor being able to pick up the opening early pick onto... Oh dear, Maz. Oh dear. He did not know that Connor was roaming downstairs. Connor did miss his shot, to be fair. We did all see that, Connor. But in the end, he does pick off Maz for that opening pick, and also answered straight away by the likes of Unique, who was able to pick up the head of Maz. Sorry, Oshink once again falling very early on. Fizzle also now being taken out, but this trading off on the likes of Connor does mean that Counteract are still in the driving seat, as we now fall to a 4v1. 6-pack now left in these very undesirable odds, with still 1 minute left on the clock. He still has a lot of time to play with right here, but of course, there is, well, there's not much that one can do in a 1v4 situation, and with the way that Counteract have been playing so far, you can tell that they're just working together. The communication is popping, but there we go. 6-pack managed to pick up the first kill this time onto Real Nincompoop, but a bit of damage being done now leaves him on 55 hit points. Of course, meaning he's slightly easier to be taken out later on by one of the members of Counteract spraying into him. Pre-fire coming through the wall there, nearly landing onto Little Dark's head, but now the sound cue coming out that he's pushing the waiting door as Unique's Legion mines start popping off as 6-pack walks into them. Now being reduced now to exactly 50 hit points. He has 20 seconds to execute onto site as he's trying to work out exactly where, but it seems he's going for the kills right here as he doesn't have much time left. But shots being missed onto the legs and head of the Legion does mean that Unique is able to pick up that kill, securing round number 4. 4 rounds in a row for Counteract so far versus his Vortex Gaming side. Yes, indeed, it is Callum from the group chat. Chanka. Indeed it is. Glad to see you tuning in today, Callum. How are you doing? Thank you, by the way, to Cyborg90867 for the follow. Thank you very much, my dude. Greatly appreciate it. £5 per hour. Oh, God. Well, it's going to take us a long time to get to Diamond, and I certainly don't want you charging me that much. So I think I'll pass. I'll get to Diamond another way. Or never. I don't know. Either way, I'm happy. Anyway, we now see the likes of Counteract going back to the Armory throne room, deciding not to go for the bunk daycare once again, as they have played upstairs too much so far this game, they've now decided. I'm doing very well, thanks, Callum. Enjoying my first stream of the week. Surprisingly, there's just been nothing has happened at the beginning of this week so far in the likes of streaming. I was very surprised, and it's all happening towards the end. Like, I have 2 games that I'm casting on Sunday for 2 well, actually no. I'm casting 1 on Sunday, and I'm also playing in 1 on Sunday, so it's going to be a mad day. Cool, Chanka, enjoy your stream, and be sure to check in here later if, of course, that one finishes early. Do let me know if you've got any problems as well by @ing me in the Discord, and I'll come over and try and sort them out. But hopefully I'll be able to concentrate on this game. One of the only problems that we're going to face, ladies and gentlemen, is unfortunately at the moment every single admin from the Discord is currently involved in this game. Maz is currently playing and is the captain on the side of Vortex Gaming, and of course we see Connor, who set up the entire league and is head admin on the side of Counteract. Unfortunately meaning that myself being an admin as well, all of us are involved in this game in some form, so hopefully there's no issues with the Zodiac expansion game now that we've resolved some of the ones that were occurring earlier, but of course we'll just have to wait and see. If I do go quiet and have to go sort out some of those things, then I do deeply apologise, but hopefully it doesn't affect this game too much. By the way, Ben Murphy 123, thank you very much for the follow, my dude. Thought you'd followed previously, but if not, then I greatly appreciate it. It may have been someone else with a very similar name. Once again, though, we see the likes of Vortex Gaming going onto this roof here, starting from the top floor and working down, this time trying to absolutely nullify and destroy the roam from Counteract. But it does seem that very little in the form of roam is coming out, or should I say very little in the form of a Little Dark is coming out on the roam. I do think the drone is suspicious, and indeed the drone has seen Little Dark. He's now being contested by a member of Vortex Gaming. Shot's not quite missing, and Little Dark, of course, being stuck here in the cafe. Could be quite bad for him. Fortunately, though, he's able to hit the shots on the drones and also hit the shot on the head of Oshink. Once again, Oshink being the very first one to fall, and Maz missing quite a lot of shots there. Eventually managed to put Little Dark on his arse, but taking a lot of damage in the process. Currently being left now on 24 hit points. Not the engagement that he wanted, and Forge nearly manages to lose his own life in the process. And of course, Weasley once again playing super aggressive on these vertical angles that are being opened up, does manage to down Maz. It's very good for the side of Counteract. This is exactly the start that they wanted. Once again, of course, having one member down on his arse already on the side of Vortex Gaming, now being picked up on 20 health. But of course, having that advantage early on. The roam has basically now been nullified, apart from, of course, the Wamai of Connor playing a very sort of close roam, watching the bottom of yellow stairs from this arcade toilet. But of course, there is still a lot of threat and a lot that needs to be done on the side of Vortex Gaming, as a beautiful shot there from Real Nincompoop manages to cleanly take off the head of Game On, pushing on to that breach. This time, though, they did still bring the ace, but of course the ace was on a different person. It seems that Oshink is not having his luck today. Of course, he was the first to die as ace, and now he's the first to die as Nomad, so unfortunately he's fallen. Basically, the first round so far, I think, bar one, he hasn't fallen. Drone's now coming into sight as Vortex decide exactly how they want to push this. Maz has taken out the split door and is deciding exactly how he wants to run in on this one. Trying to spot that vibe alarm, but unfortunately doesn't realise that Connor, of course, is playing in the arcade toilet. The call does come out, and Connor is now being pushed by the likes of Fizzle. Fizzle being able to shut down Connor. But with 20 seconds left on the clock, can Vortex Gaming do enough right here, as they now need to execute on inside? A beautiful little flick there from Fizzle. Managed to get the head of Real Nincompoop playing in the closet, but a beautiful C4 being brought out by the likes of Unique does claim the life of Fizzle. The sledge now jumps in, and a cross being covered does mean that Unique now falls. But with time being left on the clock, Weasley's just playing time, and with the diffuser not being placed down, Counteract take around number 5. Weasley, of course, playing it very smart there. Sat safely behind the hard wall at the back of Throne. Does mean that, firstly, he can't be shot. Secondly, if the plant went down, he could have moved out and taken out the sledge while he was planting. And of course, the sledge just had too much ground to cover in too little time to be able to push up and take care of Weasley, meaning that round number 5 goes very much in favour of Counteract. Will we see a complete defensive flawless sweep on the side of Counteract on this very first map? It's certainly looking like it, as their defence seems rock solid, and Vortex Gaming are just not able to bring anything to fully answer to it. I would certainly hope to see on the side of... Well, firstly, we've seen a few roles being swapped up. Of course, we saw Oshink swapping off from that hard breach role and swapping now onto the Nomad. But of course, I would like to maybe see a second hard breach being brought along, even if that's in the form of a Maverick. Of course, giving the side of Vortex Gaming slightly more options when it comes to opening those walls. They did play the vertical angles onto that armory and Throne site. But of course, that didn't necessarily work out for them, and in fact, they actually came off worse, as I believe they lost a member through those vertical angles. And with the ace only being able to open up so much of the yellow wall, they couldn't apply any pressure from any other angle. If they maybe been able to open maintenance wall, or maybe open the barrels wall, which they could have done since they have Thatcher in play, they could have then started to pinch the members of Counteract out of those positions more. But of course, Weasley was able to sit safely behind that phone right until the very end, and of course we saw him being the one to clutch it out, being the last remaining member on the side of Counteract. And of course, if one of those, either maintenance or barrel wall, had been opened, pressure could have been applied from Vortex Gaming, or at least just the threat of somebody pushing from that position would have applied more pressure to the likes of Weasty or whoever was left on the side of Counteract, meaning they were in a very difficult position that could have won Vortex the round. However, it did not go that way, and we are currently seeing Counteract on hope, maybe securing their 6th round in a row. Connor, though, being nearly caught out there, putting a very late shield on that rotate, taking about 70 points of damage from that singular window on the Drug Lab. Goodness me, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Apologies. Anyway, of course, so far nobody being lost on the side of Counteract, so that is very good for them. But of course, the advantage is now slightly leaning in favour of Vortex Gaming, being able to do so much damage onto the likes of Connor so very early on. They're deciding to go for a bit of a split push here. Of course, we see a couple of members, well, currently only one member of Game On, pushing into the barrel room down here. The drone now being seen by the likes of Real Nincompoop. We're going to just ignore the fact that he couldn't shoot that one. Can he shoot it now? It's stationary. Yes, indeed he can. So that forces the Thatcher off of his drone. We also see the Nomad of a Shink, who has now swapped roles, playing on this yellow stairs, now trying to completely close off and hold this top floor, playing these angles, and you see the sledge there of Sixpack getting a nice cheeky angle onto Unique, doing about 50 points of damage onto him, but Unique being able to walk away with his life still intact. Connor, though, being on very low health, is actually on the roam and is now trying to get back into sight, or at least play just around it in like a lurking position. Maybe hoping to pick off a couple of members, and there we go! Connor once again with the opening frag onto Game On, who's just playing at this bottom arcade position. The roof currently being opened up above Connor. He is now, his position has been revealed, and he runs away, and he's left on the tiniest slither of health. 1 HP to be exact. Joining up though with Little Dark, who is now playing around here, but there is a member of Vortex playing at the bottom of these stairs. It's Sixpack. Does he realise that there's a second member? I don't think he does. Will Little Dark swing? Does Sixpack realise that he's been pushed? Shink, they're managing to pick up a kill onto Unique. A nice cheeky headshot does make it a 4v3, but Weasty Bins managed to frag one back. This time on Sixpack, who was pushing into the bathroom. And we're now left in a 3v3 with 40 seconds left on the clock. 3 members of Vortex Gaming now deciding to push on this south side from the bottom of Arcade. A difficult position to push, and they're delaying time too much. And Little Dark on the flank, unfortunately though, gets shut down by Maz. A beautiful little clean headshot there. But as I said, that Real Nincompoop fragging it right back, taking Maz out of this game. Now swings the angle at the bottom of Arcade, missing his shot, so Fizzle being left on a tiny bit of health, but not quite able to fully take out the likes of Real Nincompoop. Now Weasty left in a 1v2 situation. Can Weasty clutch it up to get the... No, he can't. As I'm about to say, can Weasty clutch this up to secure his team the flawless defensive side? Unfortunately, a headshot is landed from Ashink. A first kill for him in this game, I believe. No, second kill, apologies. But both of them coming in this round. Vortex Gaming finally managed to find their feet in this one and managed to find an answer to the defense of Counteract. Maybe a little bit too late, as Counteract very much won that defensive half, being 5 rounds ahead to the 1 of Vortex Gaming. But the side's now swapping over. Hopefully Vortex can put up a similarly strong defense against the likes of Counteract. If they can do this, then of course we may see the scores completely change. We may even see overtime between these two teams. But for now, it's certainly looking like if Counteract can just get a little bit of momentum going into this second half, into this attacking side, then they should hopefully be able to walk away with the map 1 win. Let's just have a quick look at chat then. You ready for the match tomorrow? Going to be a tough one for you. Love some trash talk. How does my team, Deborah United, join the league? At the moment, we don't have space for any new teams, unfortunately, Ben. But when spaces arise, if you if you drop your Discord name in the chat later, like during one of the breaks or something, I might be able to add you to the league, and then we might be able to get you sorted out either for next season or if a team ends up dropping out. Catswares, yes, tomorrow's game is going to be tough, but I'm looking forward to it and hoping we can actually get some rounds on you guys, because it is going to be a bloody tough one for us in our current position. Sledge Carry, what team are leading the league right now? I believe it to be a Rebel Nation Shadow. I am not 100% sure, but I can confirm that for you in a short while. Callum, this drone economy is hurting my head. Is it in a good way or a bad way, Callum? I haven't actually been paying full attention to the drones. You've probably been paying more attention than I have. Hallie, big up Sixpack goated. Indeed. How many games through the league are you? We are currently on week number... I think this is week number 5 or week number 6. Currently there, an interesting little glitch occurring with Nincompoop that I just noticed. It seemed like he had no health bar, but now all his health has magically come back to him and he's still walking around. I believe, yeah, this is week 5 or 6, I believe. So we're over halfway at this point because they're going to be 9 weeks total before we go to the playoffs. But I will discuss that more a little bit later on. Here we see, though, now Counteract, of course, bringing more hard breaches. Like I said, the side of Vortex Gaming probably should have done. And you see Unique using that ace and the Thatcher in tandem to get that maintenance wall open nice and early. It's only a little crouch hole at the moment, but it's still an opening. And now the Thermite also being used to open up this barrel wall completely. 3 men now deciding to push on through the barrel room wall here, with the Bandit currently playing on the throne. They have now droned him, so they know his position. They're just going to have to decide exactly how they're going to push this. Maz being left on the tiniest little sliver of health, now being pressured also by the Thatcher, who is pushing through the breach that was made by the ace. Thatcher is now in sight. Connor is just going a little bit aggro. Little trade there coming out. Connor takes out Maz, but game on refrags Connor right back. Little Dark now holding just the flank here as the 3 remaining members of Counteract are trying to push through this barrel wall that the Thermite did so conveniently open for them. Unique jumping out as he hears the C4 being ripped, deciding what to do. Unique has now gone for a little flank, trying to push onto the maintenance side as Weasty now starts contesting onto this breach. Unique has jumped in but doesn't see the Vigil behind him. He didn't check that corner. So unfortunately he falls to Fizzle, who was already playing in the maintenance position. Nincompoop taking a load of damage as well after he peeks the angle. Very much this defensive round looking in favour of, Vortex Gaming, with 4 members to the 3 of Counteract. As I say that, it becomes a 4v2 as Sixpack takes out Weasty Bins, and a double kill coming out from Game On. It's now a 4v1 situation. The final remaining member of Little Dark picking up 2 right off the bat. A double kill for Little Dark. Nicely played there. He's now in a 1v2 situation. Pings coming out as he lands a nice, beautiful headshot onto the likes of Sixpack. Nice pings and drone work coming out there from the likes of Counteract. It's now a 1v1 with 20 seconds on the clock. Little Dark could make this all happen right here, right now, as he pushes on in. Game On being the only remaining member left on the side of Vortex Gaming. A push has to come out right here, right now, there, as a C4 is played by the likes of Game On. He does get tagged. Little Dog doing shots. Does he do enough? He misses the shots, and Game On clutches it for Vortex Gaming. My God, that was a close one. The C4 not quite landing and so much damage being done onto Game 1. He very nearly lost that one. Little Dark would have been there with the insane 1v4 clutch. But fortunately for the side of Vortex Gaming, they were able to eventually, right at the dying seconds, win that one out. That was an incredibly close gunfight between those two, bringing it down to the wire. That's exactly what we want to see, as we now see 2 rounds going in favour of Vortex Gaming. 5 though still being on the side of Counteract, so they very much have the advantage in this one. But of course, a good strong defense from Vortex is exactly what we wanted to see. Of course, meaning that a good defense from Vortex Gaming will of course counteract the side of Counteract, and hopefully this will mean that this game becomes more closer as we progress through it, and we may even see some overtime in this one. I suddenly turned very Australian all of a sudden. Anyway, the second site being chosen here on the side of Vortex Gaming is the bunk and daycare site. Deciding exactly how they're going to be setting this one up. They're not quite sure, as you see, of course, Oshink blasting a hole in that wall between initiation and bunk. And then the Bandit Maz coming over and going, you know what, Oshink, we're not doing that. And quickly reinforces over that small hole he made. Wastes a little bit of time there, but hopefully in the wider... What's the word? In the wider perspective, it's hopefully not going to be affecting the side of Vortex Gaming too much. But we'll see exactly what they're going to do here. Deciding to extend all the way down to this long corridor leading from waiting all the way to Top Dragon here. And by doing this, they are putting the castle barricades on those doors. Does mean that there's no castle barricade to hold the likes of initiation and control. Does mean that this could be an easy drop for Counteract and push through here. And it does seem that most of the members are beginning to push from this side. But a hold coming out from the likes of Sixpack on the Jaeger around this area could, of course, put up a bit of a fight. But we'll just have to wait and see how this one plays out. Another castle barricade, though, being used to shut off that side, but there's still plenty of sides open. Of course, the position that most teams would normally do, if they're playing this, is reinforce, well, castle barricade off these two doors here in the waiting. One on the double on the long hall and the single into office. And then also do the one initiation. But the first pick going in the way of Maz, getting a beautiful little headshot there onto Connor this time. Going, you know what, Connor? You've had your fun. You've had your early picks. Now I'm going to get some for myself and my side. Of course, taking Connor out, who has been so crucial on the defensive, does mean that now the offense of Counteract may be crippled somewhat. But so far, all members of the team putting up numbers that are certainly admirable, especially for the roles that they are playing. The likes of Unique, of course, playing more on that support role, not necessarily expected to get the kills. Real Nincompoop playing maybe a more aggressive role, unfortunately not being able to maybe get the kills he needs, but the rest of his team have been able to pick it up so far for him. Once again, we though do see Vortex Gaming in this advantage where they are in a 5v4, but Counteract now just deciding to play it, take it slow and steady, as they're trying to push on into this cash position. The wall has been opened by the likes of Weasty as he now goes up and pushes. Does take out 6-pack, so trades the kill back that was taken onto Connor. And now they start applying even more pressure on into this office position. Apologies for my stutter, everybody. A little cross there being held by Maz and Fizzle does mean that Fizzle is able to pick up that kill onto Real Nincompoop as he pushes in, once again putting favour of the man advantage in the hands of Vortex. Goodness, I wondered what I was saying there for a second. Anyway, shots that coming out from Little Dark does put Fizzle back down on his ass, and this time permanently pings though coming out on the Bandit. They're trying exactly how to push this. They need to get Maz out of this strong position that he's currently playing in the back of initiation. Maz though opening up a rotate for himself, but he's been taken out by Weasty, who'd pushed up and was holding a nice little angle there. More shots coming out now onto the smoke, no, mute, sorry, of Oshink. Unfortunately not able to land. But now Counteract are back with the advantage in a 3v2 situation. 20 seconds though left on the clock does mean they have to act quite quickly here. And a little bit of damage there being done onto Oshink, and now even more damage being done onto Oshink as the wall has been opened into the bunk. A C4 coming out, but it's been placed in the wrong place. Don't blow that, Oshink, you're going to die. Game on though, does manage to get a kill as Little Dark pushes in. It's now 2 for 2. Weasty trades one back, he's on a triple kill right now. He needs to go for this plant, but the diffuser is down. Oh my goodness, Counteract, you had it. Oh, so very close, but unfortunately the diffuser fell with the likes of Little Dark in this waiting area, meaning that unfortunately Counteract were not able to pick it up, and with so little time left on the clock, it meant that unfortunately they weren't able to get that round. It was looking so very much in favour of them towards the end there. They'd done so much after losing that early advantage, being able to slowly push on into sight, but at the very last second, Little Dark, having that diffuser in hand, unfortunately fell to the likes of Game On as he pushed that waiting door, dropping diffuser in the worst place possible, meaning the two remaining members of Counteract were not able to force that plant, and the likes of Game On, all he had to do was survive, and that's exactly what he did. Well played to the likes of Vortex Gaming there. Some very close games coming out so far. Certainly the last few rounds on defense, but fortunately for the side of Vortex, just being able to clutch it out right at the very end, and of course not result in them putting it any closer to match point. Does mean they are now 2 rounds closer to matching the score so far being put up by Counteract, but of course those rounds from Counteract on defense were so very dominant, but now we see the likes of Vortex. They're not necessarily being dominant. They've certainly been very close, but it's been good to see them winning some of those rounds. Anyway, let's a quick look at chat and talk to you guys. Stream sniping, where are you suggesting that, Cyborg? It's Discord. And by the way, 4 drones died in the prep phase. Ooh, sorry. Would have clutched one 100%. Mozzie was throwing hard. Garrett has asked Kevin to clutch that once. He needs to relax, he needs to relax. Oh, I am relaxed. Why is this switch round for the 15 rocket? I don't know, but people need to just... You guys are just here to watch some good Siege. Comment on it as much as you want, but keep it gentlemanly. No need to get so uppity. But by the way, thank you very much, Lil Galloway, for the follow, my dude. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining the Elementals, as I like to now call you all, because I'm nice like that. Perfect. The Zodiac versus expansion game is now underway on Rainbow Six Shanker's channel. So for those of you that do know that channel, then if you would like to hop across and watch that game for a little bit, or have both streams open in fact, then you can do so. Of course, greatly appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting my stream today, so thank you very much for that. But of course, if you do want to see some other action, we'll just pop in now and again to see how they're getting on, and then you can see that little dart though. Managed to pick up the roaming Maz on the ground floor. Maz, of course, having the opening kills from the last 2 rounds, I believe, now being taken off the board. This does give Counteract that lead and advantage that they've been lacking in the last 2 rounds. Connor also picking up a beautiful long-angled headshot there, all the way from the bunk into initiation room, completely taking game on off the board. Oshink is also down now in the break room. Weasty with a pre-fire through the soft wall does take him down, and it's now a 5v2. This is very much looking like a much more competent round from the likes of Counteract. Can they bring this out in a flawless? It's now 5v1. 6-pack is the last one remaining. But a TK coming out for the likes of Weasty Bins puts this back into a 3v1. Connor now proning on the floor, does miss his shots, but eventually Real Nincompoop, after whiffing so much, does manage to pick up the final kill onto 6-pack, securing round number, I'm not even sure what round 1 at the moment, but managing to secure their 6th winning round on the side of Counteract. Very nearly threw it all away right there, both with a team kill coming out and some very good gun skill coming out from the likes of 6-pack, but eventually we did see Counteract able to bring that numbers advantage to its fruition. The fact that they walked into site to win a 5v1 did mean, even though TKs and some bad plays came out, they did end up in a 2v1, which they were eventually able to win. But goodness me, boys, you do not want to be throwing quite that badly. It could have very easily, had there been a little bit more ammunition in that gun on the side of Jaeger, that could have been a very different ending to all of this one. So we'll just have to wait and see whether, of course, Counteract can repeat that performance, or hopefully not repeat that performance, because if they're not careful, they could be in a clutch situation like that, and this time Vortex Gaming may be able to clutch it out. They've been so very close in every single defensive, well, since we've gone into the second half, we've seen Counteract be so very close to either throwing it or winning it every single time. The first 2 rounds, they were so close to clutching it in a 1v1, or whatever the situation, or 2v1, but unfortunately, at the last few seconds, Vortex were able to clutch it out. At the end of that one, though, we saw a 5v1 nearly turn into a 1v5 clutch ace on the side of 6-pack. That was just insane. It wouldn't have been an ace because, unfortunately, the likes of Weasty Bins did TK a friendly. Maybe, of course, getting a little bit overconfident there on the side of Counteract did mean that, of course, they all just ran in one go rather than taking it one at a time. Did meaning that one of them lined up, a friendly line in front of another, meaning blue on blue occurred, and unfortunately, Weasty did TK. Fortunately, though, they were able to clutch it out, which now sees them on to match point, as we are currently seeing round number 9 being played. Hopefully, Vortex, now that they're back into a site that they did win the first time round, which is the Armory Throne, they are able to win this one as well. But of course, we did see the likes of Counteract using their double, if not triple, hard breach we see now being brought out by them in combination with the Thatcher that is still on the board, able to open up the walls as required, allowing them to both do a push from barrels, but also pushing through maintenance. A few mistakes did mean that they were eventually unable to, of course, win out that round, and it did come down to a 1v1. But of course, if they are able to execute as well as they did the first time, get those walls open and apply that pressure without the mistakes, we may see Counteract being able to end this one right here. Lil Galloway, I'm expecting 6-pack to ace next round. Yes, I think we all are after that performance. He certainly deserved it, but unfortunately was not able to. As we now see the pressure being applied here. Maz, though, with a prep C4, ready to go over this wall. He tries to throw it, but it doesn't quite go over. That's a very big misplay there from Maz, just not quite getting the angle onto that hole there. Does mean the wall gets opened, and no kills will be fragged back in the favour of Vortex. Get it open as well. Instantly, though, the ace being applied on the other side, opening up this maintenance wall. Now meaning that drone position at the back here by the drone hole is near impossible to play. Sorry if you can barely hear me over the noise of those ace charges going off. They are bloody noisy. This now means that all the 3 members of Vortex Gaming who are playing in site are being pushed off into this armory side, which is quite difficult. We do see 2 members of them playing upstairs, though. The likes of 6-pack, who has now just, as I say that, just been taken out upstairs. And as I say, 2 people being taken out. Real Nincompoop claiming the head of Maz. Oshink also, oh my goodness, all of a sudden it's just fallen apart for the side of Vortex Gaming. Fizzle now being the only one left on the side of his team. Unfortunately, I missed all of that perfect execution on into sight. But of course, Fizzle being left in a 1v4 now. Can he clutch this? He manages to land a beautiful headshot onto the head of Little Dark, pushing down the yellow stairs. But now he has to completely retake the site, doing a little bit of a fuck you headshot onto the dead body, knowing his odds are very much not in his favour right now as he runs down the corner. A ping coming out though, but a pre-fire at the head as Connor crouches down means that Connor is able to pick up the head of Fizzle in return, securing his team the victory on this first map of Theme Park as we see Counteract go 7 rounds to 3. Well played to both teams. Of course, numbers being put up across the board. 11, 11, 11 for Connor, Weasty and Little Dark. Nincompoop and Unique having 10 between them both. So almost very even kills there. Some good kills and some good points coming out on the side of Vortex Gaming as well. But unfortunately at the end there, it was just not quite enough for them to come out with the win on this one. But bloody hell, if you excuse my French, that was quite the game. I'm certainly feeling quite sweaty after that one, and I'm sure the guys who were playing the game are also feeling the heat somewhat, as that one probably got a little bit tense, a little bit sweaty towards the end there, but a very good game played nonetheless. Anyway, we're just going to have a quick ad break after I've finished off the predictions for you. Of course, Counteract did win that first one. Please enjoy your channel points and be prepared to pop your winnings, your earnings, on the second prediction that will be coming shortly after we've had a break. Firstly, before I do zip away though, thank you all for tuning in today so far. And also a big thank you so far to Mitsuki NL for following. Greatly appreciate it, my dude. Thank you very much. Oh dear, Kaz. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm just going to run some ads for about 3 minutes, so if you guys could watch them, that'd be greatly appreciated. It helps me out no end, and I'm going to have a quick break. But once all of that's said and done, we will be back for map number 2, which sees us go to Oregon. What will happen in map number 2? Will it be as close as the first one? We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, I'll be back with you all shortly. Hello everybody, welcome back to the second half of today's best of two between Counteract versus Vortex Gaming. The first map we saw today was indeed Theme Park, where we saw Counteract claim the victory after 10 rounds, winning the game 7 rounds to 3. Well played on both sides. Of course, the Counteract defense was certainly what managed to win them that one in the end, as they certainly put up a very strong defense against the likes of Vortex Gaming, who were not able to break through it until the final defensive round before the halftime switch. A good start to the defensive side for the likes of Vortex Gaming did see them get the 3 rounds on the board, but unfortunately towards the end, Counteract were able to get back on their feet and of course eventually push through and claim the remaining rounds that they needed to secure themselves victory on map number 1. Map number 2 we will be going to will be Oregon. We will be awaiting a little bit for a couple of the members on the side of Vortex Gaming. It has been agreed between both captains that we will restart this game at 8 o'clock. So we do still have about 8 minutes just to chill in chat and talk to each other. So, excuse me, apologies for that delay. If though you want to stay tuned into some action and some ongoing siege, then hop across to Rainbow Six Chanka's channel. I'll share a link in the chat shortly, as he's currently streaming another game from this league, which sees, I believe it is, Expansion versus Zodiac Esports. Of course, as I say, if you want to go over and watch that just while we're having a bit of a lull moment, then please feel free to do so. It's currently a 5v5 on there, 2 rounds currently in favour of Zodiac Gaming. And they are currently playing on Consulate, which is the first time we'll be seeing that map played this season, this league. There you go, I've just shared a link in chat for all of you, so if you just want to go over and hop on and watch some of Chanka's stream for the time being, just so you're watching something, or if you want to stay here and chat, then that's absolutely fine, greatly appreciate it. But yes, hopefully. Bibish, hey mate, how's your day been? What was the first score, the first round? So, to repeat once again, because it obviously seems like you weren't here. Firstly, my day's been going well. I had an alright day at work, actually got all my work finished today, which is like, it hasn't happened in about 7 months. And I'm swapping between both games. Fair enough, Bibish. The score for the first game was Counteract versus Vortex Gaming went to Theme Park. This saw Counteract starting on the defensive with Vortex on the offensive. Counteract were able to put up 5 rounds in a row on the defense. Finally, though, Vortex were able to get 1 round on the board on the attack. They then followed up with 2 strong defenses, but eventually Counteract were able to get the momentum going once again and win the game 7 rounds to 3. So there you go, that's the quick rundown. Hopefully that was informative. And you can now pop back to watch the action on Chanka's stream if you so wish. But cheers for popping by, Bibish, and hopefully catch you in a little bit as well. By the way, I'm just going to check a few other things for you guys, since you wanted to know some interesting stuff like stats and everything. Let me just have a quick look for you. So, currently with the league table, at the top of the league table after 5 weeks played, I believe we're on... Let me just double check for you guys. Yes, indeed, we are currently going into... Are we week 6? Yes, we are week 6. We are indeed on week 6. So there you go. That is the week that we're currently on with this league. There are 9 weeks in total. So we'll only be 3 more weeks after this until the top 5 in the league will progress through into the playoffs, with first place going straight through to the grand final and positions 2 to 5 going through into the playoffs, where we'll see a quarterfinal, a semi, and then the winner, of course, of the semi faces off against the top placed team from the initial league rounds in a best of 5, winner takes all. And we're yet to see who that will be. But currently sat at the top of the standings, we see Rebel Nation Shadow sat at the top with 10 points, very closely followed behind by the likes of Counteract, who are also sat on 10 points. There's a round difference between them, though, which is why Rebel Nation is sat on the top. And Black Angel... So, yes, indeed. In third place at the moment, we see currently Black Angels on 8 points. In fourth, we see Paradox Gaming on 7. Zodiac Esports on 6 points currently, and they are currently the top 5. If they remain in those positions, the top 5 and the top 1 will of course go to playoffs and the finals, as I just explained, but anybody else below that will unfortunately leave the league at that point and will have to wait until Season 2 begins to play any more games. There may be some friendlies, there may be just some show matches, but that will depend on what we can arrange as the admin team. The teams that, of course, fall below that cut-off line are positions 6 to 10, and currently we see RZP sat in position number 6. Unfortunately, though, they have now left the league, and they have been replaced by the team of Shambles. We're yet to see, of course, Shambles play, but when they do play, we'll have to wait and see what comes out of it. In 7th place, we then see Vortex Gaming, so this is a very important game today for Vortex. If they, of course, walk away with no points, they're still stuck in that 7th position, and Counteract extend their lead over the likes of Vortex. But, of course, if they are able to if they're able to win or get any points on this one, then they will, of course, help move themselves up, and they should move into, I believe, 4th position. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one. In 8th place, we currently see Expansion, currently sat on 5 points. In 9th, we see Tempo, who unfortunately today we have found out are leaving the tournament due to some internal issues. This does mean that they will be also being replaced. This time they're being replaced by Vortex Academy, who will pick up the same number of points that have been awarded to Tempo so far and continue playing in the league from there. In bottom place, so in 10th position, we currently see Zodiac Esports B, the B team to the main Zodiac Esports, currently sat at, unfortunately, 0 points, having not won any of their games so far and not even had a single draw to their name, unlike some of the other teams that we have seen. So that's a quick rundown of the entire league for you. We have about 3 minutes till we are going into the next game. So hopefully everybody will get back into the lobby nice and quick. We're currently waiting on Maz and I believe Sixpack to join back, and then we'll be ready to go. Can you invite me back? Oh no, you've already got the invite, Oshing. RNS with 4 games played. Gunners, yes indeed. Anyway, I'm going to get the predictions underway nice and early, so you guys can get voting. Of course, you've seen the outcome of game number 1, but this is another map, this is another day. Will we see a different outcome in this second map, which takes us to Oregon? It's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens here. Of course, the side of, Vortex Gaming deciding to actually go for the defensive as their starting side. Hopefully able to put together some good defensive rounds like we saw towards the end/middle part of their previous map, hopefully. Of course, we'll have to see exactly whether they can continue that good form through. But of course, when they do, and when they are playing at their best, Vortex Gaming can certainly bring the fight to Counteract. But Counteract have been showing up good so far in this first game that we've seen, and hopefully into the second one. So it's all to play for in this second game. Counteract, though, choosing the offensive side on the OT maybe means that they're more confident with their attack, which of course could actually favour them, with the fact that despite the fact that it was Vortex's pick, they chose the defensive first, which puts Counteract on the offensive. This could play very much into the hands of Counteract. We'll have to wait and see, though, when we get into this one, but only with 1 minute left to go, I'm just going to do a quick shout-out on the Discord to make sure everybody knows we're headed into Game 2, and then from there, we will get this one underway. Just bear with me 1 moment. There we are, just got to share my link now. Da, 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 da. That's not the one that I want this one. There we go. There we are, everything has now been shared. I'm nice and happy, and we're ready to head on off into this one. The time has now hit 8 o'clock, so away we go. I have no points left. Indeed you do. Indeed you don't, Kaz. Unfortunately, putting all of your money on Vortex last round. Unfortunately, Maz let you down, but hey-ho. So sometimes you maybe got to put a little bit in there, or put a lot in there, but that is the wonder of gambling. I know it's not really with, like, in inverted commas, proper money, but it's still, of course, losing you channel points. It's because I'm not playing for Zodiac B team. No, I'm joking. I haven't played in like 3 weeks due to college work. Fair enough. Fair enough, Bibish. Kazwaz and gambling all the way. Yeah, well, at least from watching the stream then, Kazwaz, you can earn more channel points. So for all of you that aren't aware, when you watch my streams, you will gain channel points, which you can then use to spend on these predictions that I like to put out when I'm casting. I also use the predictions when I'm like playing ranked with my friends and I'm doing streaming that way, and I may do it if I decide to ever stream any other games. But for now, at the moment, we are using those predictions to try and let you guys have a little bit of interaction with me, see what you guys think, who's going to win this second game. So far, only 2 of you have voted, and you've put all of your money on Counteract to win this one. Will Counteract live up to that big hype on this second map? I'm not quite sure. We'll just have to wait and see. But so far, we have seen 2 bans coming out. The first one being Thatcher being banned off on the side of Vortex Gaming. The second one being the Ace being banned off on the side of Counteract. Goyo as well, now on the defensive, being gotten rid of, not wanting to play against his explosive shields. And the final ban coming out from the side of Vortex Gaming, what will it be? It will be the Clash, just completely wanting to wipe off the board. They already have nightmares about that first round on Theme Park where it was played so very well against them. So we will have to see how this one plays out. Taking the Thatcher off the board, though, does mean that both teams will have to adopt a very different play style. I certainly think that in the previous game, we did see Counteract using the Thatcher a lot better than the side of Vortex Gaming. They did have it open to them, but with only bringing 1 hard breach, and that hard breach being picked off as the opening pick 2 rounds in a row, and then being used against sites where it's not actually that crucial, I don't think they really utilised the fact that the Thatcher was still available and on the board. If they'd maybe bought a couple more hard breaches and, of course, utilised that fact, there wasn't even that much wall denial necessarily bought on the side of Counteract. So I think they certainly missed a trick there. But that's since said and done. It's in the past now. The history books have been written on that one. And unfortunately, it does mean that for the likes of Vortex, they currently have no points. But if they manage to win on this map, they will secure themselves 1 point. But Counteract, having won that first round, do secure themselves the very first point. And with winning this second map, will also be able to secure themselves the full 3 that they need to catapult themselves to the top of the league. And also, basically at this point, probably solidify their chances of reaching the playoffs, whether that be in first position or whether that be in 5th. I think at this point, they're pretty much guaranteed, with the top 5 being where they are, to make it through to the playoffs with the points that they have. As long as they're able to win it. If they draw this, it could be a very different story, and some of the slightly lower teams with some good games on their side could come above Counteract or push them out of those playoff spots and take it from them. Gambled on a roulette wheel thing a year or 2 ago with fake money and made up a shit ton of money, about 100,000k of fake money. If only it had been real money, eh, Kazwaz? Shagpar goal, nice, I can bet. Woo! I'm a pro gambler. Indeed you are. Anyway, the first site we now see of Vortex Gaming going is on this downstairs site, but already Connor is in and has managed to down O'Shink, once again being punished. Real Nincompoop now taking off the head of 6-pack. This is not the start that Vortex Gaming wanted. Connor now pushing this advantage from the bunker area. Starts droning it out, and now they're currently trying to decide, do we open up the E-box wall? The smoke of O'Shink has now been picked up, but he's left on 20 hit points only after being down in his arse, leaving a lovely blood trail on the floor there at the end of the long haul, but fortunately for the side of Vortex, was able to be picked up. Mazzo playing this vigil on the rear stage stairs. Doesn't realise that Nomad pushed up so far, but Nomad looks away at just the wrong time and is taken off by the likes of Maz being shot in the back completely. Also, Connor, completely oblivious, does take a lot of damage, but now Connor's pushing side, takes off the head of O'Shink, who's playing in the side of Freezer. Does realise how close the bandit is. He does. Shots missed though and being left on low health. Unique picks up Maz. Game On picks up Connor, but Weasty manages to pick up Game On in reverse, and Weasty is now beginning the plant with Fizzle left in a 1v3 situation. Very little time left. He doesn't have much to deny this plant, and the plant does end up going down. He now has to try and attack onto the 3 remaining members of Counteract. Have a very strong position on the default side of the downstairs laundry room site. For the moment, Fizzle's just peeking every angle that he can, doing a bit of pre-firing, hoping to get some lucky headshots, but the likes of Counteract are playing this very carefully and very safely, deciding not to peek anything. The only person peeking is currently the likes of Unique, but now they're all falling back, just playing the time that they require, waiting for the Jaeger to make a mistake. As you now see Fizzle taking a load of damage from Little Dark at the end of this long haul corridor. He peeks out again and Little Dark secures the kill with a nice little headshot onto Fizzle. Very well played there from Counteract. Pushing and using the aggression early on, managing to get that blue booger control and just rip into sight, picking up a down and a kill within the first like 20 to 30 seconds of the round. Vortex Gaming were not prepared, eventually resulting in them able to just continue that push down in sight. Maz could have maybe done more from that rear stage stairs, but unfortunately he was eventually shut down and didn't apply the pressure when maybe he needed to, resulting in Counteract walking away with round number 1 victory. Can they continue this form though, or will Vortex book up their ideas and be able to actually bring a strong defense against this very competitive side of Counteract? It remains to be seen, as there's still many rounds left before we reach a conclusion to this second game, but so far Counteract is certainly proving the 78% of you that have voted on them very much right with that very dominant opening round performance. Can they continue this though through 6 more rounds, or will we see them maybe falter and fall? Will we see Vortex start getting some aggression back on them? It is yet to, it remains to be seen. Do my bets double if Orange wins? No, Chag. What happens is the side that you have voted for, well, the side that loses, all the bits have been voted on that side then get distributed against the people that have voted on the winning side. So at the moment, because you have voted on the side of Vortex, for every 1 bit that you've put in, you will get 4.51 bits back. Or channel points, or whatever you guys want to call them. So if you put in 10, you will get 45 bits back. No, not 45. Yes, 45. Either way, you get more back. I can't do maths today. I've had a long day at work. I can't do maths. Once again, they're kind of starting to push the aggression now onto this barrel door. Already pre-firing the angles, opening up that wall. A drone comes in and spots out the smoke of a Shink who was playing so aggressively on that angle. They're now deciding what to do. It seems that they're wanting to take this one a little bit slower this time. As you now see a Maverick Cam doing a little bit of damage to Connor, but very quickly being taken out by the Ash charge from Connor, shooting that wall. A lot of pressure now being applied onto the lights of smoke at the back, and instantly taken out by a nade from Unique. But Maz takes off the head of Weasty, choosing that opportune moment to, of course, swing the corner and take the head clean off the Thermite. A very crucial operator to take down, as they now only have the lights of the Maverick on side to open up any of these hard walls. 1 second. Okay. Nothing to report so far on the side of the Zodiac versus Expansion game. Just having a quick look over there to see if anything needed my attention. So, as I said earlier, this is one of the problems with myself, Maz and Connor all being involved in this game. We are the 3 main admins for the league page, so if anything happens, we're all busy. And unfortunately I'm the one who's least busy, so I may have to dip away if something is to kick off. Fortunately though, nothing is kicking off so far, as we now see a lot of time being used on the side of Counteract, deciding exactly what they're going to do. With their main hard breacher down, they can't just brute force their way into the site. But now they've decided to go on a slightly different approach, and Nincompoop takes out Fizzle, who was playing in that laundry after having pushed down the rear stage stairs. Fizzle has now pushed up quite aggressively. The drone being used to bait out the Jaeger. If that was a bait there, it was very well done on the side of Counteract. Of course, Maz thinking that the Ash was the only one there, droning out. But instead, it was Connor was backed up by the likes of Nincompoop on the Nomad, able to secure that kill, as Unique is now in sight, able to start pushing down this diffuser. 6-pack takes a load of damage. Connor falls, Nincompoop picks up the header, game on, and now in a 1v3, 6-pack needs to try and clutch this. He has the rounds in his gun to do so. 81 on the side of the Alder, but 81 rounds, 40 health, and against 3 people isn't likely to end in his favour. And as I say that, Little Dark, of course, picks up the final kill on 6-pack, holding that cross very well from the elbow angle, collecting the kill and securing round number 2 for Counteract. Once again, another dominant performance from them so far, finding a way to work around the Vortex defense despite the fact that they lost their only hard breach so early on. Some good plays there, and a very nice bait, if it was intentional, coming out from Nincompoop and Connor, using that drone very nicely to bait Maz around the corner in E-box. of course, easily being able to collect him at that point and then leaving themselves in a 4v2 situation as they were able to push into site and start putting that diffuser down. Don't think so at the moment, Caswez. We're still sorting out mods and a couple of other things we're still in the process of getting sorted. But once Connor's finished fiddling around with the server, then we'll get all mods and everything sorted back out again. Certainly at the moment, though, it does mean that only myself, Maz, and Connor are the admins, but hey-ho, we'll get it sorted as and when we need to, and I think Connor at the moment is almost finished with the server renovation, so we'll see what he wants to do with that. I'm not really sorting that bit out. I just know that I still have admin privileges, and that's about it. But yes, as you said, Shag, they were very much slammed on the side of Vortex Gaming. 2 rounds on the trot. Losing there on the side of Vortex Gaming does see them now swap sites into this top floor bunk and kids bedroom. So we'll see exactly how they try and hold this one.
5 seconds left.
Hopefully able to have a bit more... what's the word I'm looking for? Hopefully able to have a bit more success on this site than they did on the previous one, and hopefully able to bring a bit more of a fight to the side of Counteract. See Mazzo on the roam here as the bandit playing over in the small tower. Looking to maybe do a run out, maybe he's got a friendly on that cam. As you see, he's preparing for a run out. Does the call come out? He's certainly watching for it at the moment. That default cam is not... He pushes out now, sees someone on repel. Once again, it's Weasley. A load of damage done, but not enough to finish off the lights of the Thermite. He repeats, but Thermite is now safely in on that balcony. Maz, you need to be getting kills in those situations. That would have been amazing to once again have got the hard breach off the board on the side of Counteract. But unfortunately, he leaves Weasley on 25 health. It does still mean that the man is still alive, meaning that he can still prove quite critical as required. Shots coming out now from Connor, taking out that Cade on the closet wall does mean that the Thermite can now push in and get this wall open. No bandit or Cade trick coming out on the side of Vortex Gaming does mean that wall will get open nice and easily. And site is starting to be pushed in onto. Fizzle is the only roamer at the moment, currently playing downstairs in the kitchen, rotating back towards the white stairs, deciding exactly how to play this. Connor, though, being left on the tiniest sliver of health. That looks like maybe 2-3 hit points. And as I say that, Weasley, also on very low health, was taken out there by Oshink, who is playing as the Wamai on the shield in the midpoint between these two sides. Very well played there. Fizzle sees the Claymore from below, does go to shoot it, he takes it out, but in a 5v3 now, it doesn't look in favour of Counteract, as Oshink is now on a triple kill. Oshink is going for the ace here, but Unique now being downed by the lights of Game On denies Oshink his ace. But now Little Dark being left in a 1v5 situation. He himself will need to ace to win this one. He gets the first kill onto Fizzle, denying the Flawless on the side of Vortex Gaming. Can Little Dark do this with 1 minute left on the clock? He certainly has the time to play slow, take the gunfights one by one, and eventually win this one out. But being in a 1v4, if Vortex Gaming just play well together and deny any sort of one-on-one battles, then Little Dark is likely going to be unable to win this one. As we now see the likes of Sixpack having pushed up to hold the diffuser in this little walk-in closet. Maz is also playing top of white stairs. Oshink is now playing close upon the trophy door, and the Cade has pushed off into the attic stairway. Little Dark wasting quite a bit of time here, maybe actually needing to have pushed on into sight at this point. Does decide that maybe the push is going to come through into the attic window with about 30 seconds left on the board. Having trouble opening up the window there, but eventually does it as a flashbang comes through, being eaten up by an ADS. The second one ricocheting off the window. A C4 coming out, doesn't quite connect. He spins, managed to get a double kill onto the Cade, but misses the shots onto the swing and Wamai of Oshink. And Oshink showing up big for his team there, right there. Getting 4 kills just on his own sum. The ace being denied by the lights of Game On. So unfortunately Sync was not able to get that. But, like I say, showing up big for his team when they needed it. Of course, being 2 rounds down on the defensive on Oregon is not what they wanted. So he went, right boys, hold my beer. He'd got no kills up to that point after being shut down very early in the previous 2 rounds. But finally showed up big exactly when he needed to. Getting the 4 kills that his team so desperately needed that helped them eventually win that round. Unfortunate run out from Maz didn't mean that, of course, the advantage went in favour of Vortex Gaming a lot earlier, but fortunately the rest of his team were able to pick him up on their shoulders and carry him to that victory at the end of that round. What are the operator bands? There you go, Callum, you can see them now. Thatcher, Ace, Goyo, and Clash. Please don't win this, defenders. Chag's put a lot of money on people. I don't know which people you put it on, Chag. I didn't actually see. Will you be available for map bans after? May as well get them out of the way.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
We'll
being
just do
defused
them
by attackers.
whenever, to be honest, Kaz. I kind of CBA to do them. I want to do what we did in this game in a way, just get the map bans done like just before we go into the game, so it's a surprise for everybody. I think that'd be quite cool. Oh dear. Everybody seems to be leaving the game. Not quite sure what's going on here.
Attackers have recovered their
Whether there's been a disconnect issue or what. A little bit surprising there. I'm going to wait and find out. Huh? Yeah, Connor, you're not supposed to just leave. You have to... Yeah. Apologies, everyone, for that one. One second, I just need to go quickly read up on something. Where's the... There we go. We still have the server going, so I don't actually have to do a full rehost, but hopefully we can get the rest of... Counteract back in nice and quick, and we can take up from where we left off. God, reading the rules. Mitigation shoot breaks between maps, leaving the lobby 4.10. Apologies, everybody. This is where. Bear with everybody. Hopefully getting this one sorted out nice and quick. But apologies that I've got to be quiet. I'm trying to read and unfortunately I can't talk to you guys at the same time as reading. Yeah, so the side of Counteract were able to leave at that point, as 30 seconds of the round had not elapsed. So they were able to call a rehost. It would have been nice if they just mentioned that before just leaving, as I was completely surprised by it. But we can get that all sorted. Anyway, I'm getting them invited back in right now, and we'll get this one back underway as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, this is where I need to try and remember exactly exactly where we'd gotten to on Oregon. I certainly remember the bands. They were Thatchel. Thatchel? Yes, that's a new operator, everybody. Thatchel. Let's go. And then it was the likes of... Bollocks, who was it? Was it Malusi and Clash? No, Goyo and Clash. There we go. Goyo and Clash. Bans are done. Starting as attackers, we want Orange Team, OT, Orange Team, and we saw 3 rounds played where the Orange Team won the first 2, attacking the supply room. Then Blue Team won Kids Dorms. So we're on round number 4. Perfect. There we go. Unfortunately, I can't. I could go back to the stream. Wood should have been played, don't we? Confirm if correct. Taken post stream, but not right now. There you go. Apologies for the delay and quietness, everybody. Unfortunately, of course, having to just make sure everything's back up to date. I think I've got everything sorted. So I just need to just check with the team that the bans are correct. Once I've done that, we will get underway. I think I've got them right. Yeah, apologies for the delay, everybody. I just need to wait for... Come on, guys, I need you to ready up and then we can go. Once again, apologies for this delay, ladies and gentlemen. We'll hopefully be getting back underway nice and quickly. Unfortunately, I struggle typing and talking at the same time, so when I'm trying to communicate with these guys through the Discord chat, I am focusing on typing, making sure I'm getting everything right. Okay, both teams are now ready, so let's get back into this. Hopefully I've set everything up correctly. I do believe I have. If I haven't, then, well, fuck me then. But apologies for the delay with that one, everybody. We're now going back into this one. We've got all the map, we've got all the operator bans, and we're going to be making sure that the side of Counteract choose the same operators that they had chosen before, of course, they disconnected. We did have one player that did disconnect from the lobby on, by the sounds of it, possible internet connection issued, but of course a rehost must be called with the caster before, of course, it is agreed. I need to be made aware, basically, of the rehost request before I can rehost it. It happened within the time frame, so we would have called a rehost, we would have left, like you saw, and of course the match would then be replayed from this position. However, Counteract left without providing that warning. Nothing was said in chat saying, could we have a rehost? We just saw the player leave. So unfortunately, they have technically broken a rule there. There will be no forfeit from it, so the game will still be played to its completion, but a verbal warning will be issued against the side of Counteract post-game, as really, before a rehost is called, regardless of the reason, the caster needs to be made aware of the reason for the rehost and the fact the rehost is called. That they were completely legitimate in their choosing to rehost, but they need to make me aware before they can do so, just to clarify everything for you guys. Anyway, once again, we see the side of Vortex Gaming going back down into the basement. Hopefully the same operators being picked up on the side of Counteract. If not, then this map will be replayed. It has already been likely agreed. But of course, if the operators are not correct, so when I go back and review the stream replay, if the operators are not the same as those picked previously, then this map or game will be replayed. So just to make you guys aware of that as well. But now we are back into this one. We'll see exactly what's happening, and this time an interesting pick being bought out on the side of Vortex Gaming. The mirror being bought by Sixpack. Quite an interesting pick on this basement side, exactly how it will work out.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and
Apologies, there was just a message in chat that I needed to attend to. But as we say that, we see Connor going upstairs, managing to get the early pick onto Game On. A very nice opening pick there for the side of Counteract, and also a bit of map control has been given to them there, where we now see Real Nincompoop is playing on this rear stage, watching that double door where the likes of Maz are playing so close together. No, it's not Maz, I apologise, it's the likes of Fizzle on the Vigil. He has now been droned. They did see him before he managed to put his scanner on, so the call will come out. But there is a Nomad in play on that double door. Shots now coming up through the soft wall, does quite a bit of damage onto the Real Nincompoop, but unfortunately doesn't take his life away from him. So Fizzle doesn't quite get the numbers back in favour for his team, as he now decides to completely rotate away, running through Z into the bathroom side. Meeting has now been taken by the side of Counteract. They're gathering a lot of map control here, as we see the likes of Weesty and Connor holding at the top of main lobby. Meeting has also been taken by the likes of Unique on the Maverick, and we also see a Nincompoop playing this rear stage stairs. Fizzle on the roam has been is being hunted down by Connor. Currently being left on quite a bit of low health here. If Connor only needs to go on his scanner, because of course Vigil is using his ability, he could see him through the wall using IQ scanner, but unfortunately he's not using it at the moment and is just trying to hunt Fizzle down. He does see the explosion though, and a nice little turn does collect Fizzle, instantly refragging back the fact that Unique was taken out by a C4 through the E-box hatch onto the Maverick, completely taking his life out. However, it's now a 3v4 situation with the members of Vortex Gaming playing downstairs. They're just going to try and hold the site for this last 45 seconds now. Can they hold out again against this Counteract onslaught? They've certainly seemed very connected and playing well together. But does Maz realise how close the IQ is? Does IQ realise how close the likes of the Jaeger is? No, I don't think so, as he now pushes in, starts swinging round, sees the mirror, does take out the mirror, pushes through, a triple kill for Connor so far. Doesn't realise that the likes of Maz was behind, but Nincompoop able to pick this one up as Connor pushes deeper in. Likes of Oshink has now fallen into the small connector box and is currently being pressured by that Nomad device. Does take it out, but the plant is going down on default, as we see he's able to take it out. He does have a mirror in play here, so could play around it quite effectively, but with 4 members left on the board, and missing his shots there as he swings out onto Real Nincompoop, does mean that round number 4 goes in favour of Counteract. Sorry. Round number 5 now here, seeing the scoreline going 3 rounds to 1 in favour of Counteract. Once again, proving that they have a very strong side here against this Vortex Gaming. Vortex Gaming, though, to their credit, is a relatively new team. They haven't played too many games together, so we're just going to have to wait and see exactly how this one eventually rounds itself out. And of course, whether Vortex Gaming are able to improve as both this game progresses, but also as the league progresses. We will have to wait and see. I certainly see bright things in their future, as they are putting up a good fight against this strong Counteract side today. But of course, today is when it matters in this best of two, and so far they haven't been quite doing enough, both in the first game and the second game, to be able to get themselves the 1 point that they, the 1 point that they can secure now. Unfortunately, have not been able to win enough rounds so far, but there's still plenty of this Oregon map to be played again.
10 seconds to
But
go.
for some reason, once again, deciding to go for this bottom site, they've now lost it every single time that they've come here. The only site that they've won is top floor in the kids' bedroom. I'm not quite sure what they're going to be bringing this time that's going to be so different that may allow them to get this victory, but we'll just have to wait and see. Lots of pressure coming out here from the likes of, who was it? Was it Fizzle? No, Sixpack. But unfortunately, Connor punches him, expecting the run out. But Connor stands up at just the wrong time, and a little bit of a pre-fire from Maz takes his head clean off. Fizzle, sorry, they've now swapped roles. Fizzle takes the head off Connor. Very nicely there, as we see the real Nincompoop pushing deep into Blue Bunker, starting to take out the utility inside as he's being droned by his teammates. A nice little trade coming out there does mean that, of course, Counteract still do have the slight advantage, I would say, as all this utility has now been taken out, but the numbers are very equal, so I would certainly not put it too much in favour of one team or another. The Ella shotgun being brought out this time by Maz, being played close on a shield here, both with a Malusi to assist, but also an ADS covering the shield. If that is burnt though, which it now has been, of course this shield could be taken out quite easily, and there you see a nade coming in, destroying that shield nice and easy, and now E-Box wall being taken out as well. Maz is playing close, seeing if he can pick anybody off, but nobody pokes their head around. Real Nincompoop pushing though through Blue Bunker, is able to collect the head of Oshink, playing around. Now a drones out the Valkyrie on that rear stage stairs, a Nomad now being placed down to stop her from rotating. Can't quite see it, and Little Dart pushes in to collect the head of Fizzle, who was playing over in the laundry. That Ella shotgun though being played close to Weesey, but Real Nincompoop able to collect the refrag, although Weesey was only down in that engagement. Game On is now in a 1v4 situation, has one player down on his arse, it's the player of Little Dark. He now has to try and clutch this one out. The C4 going off, securing that kill for him. The defuse started going down, but it got stopped and now started again. Did give Game On a bit of time to play around with, but unfortunately not able to capitalise on this, as the cross is being held by Real Nincompoop, who collects himself another kill, securing what I believe was maybe a triple for himself, but either way, securing round number 4 in favour of Counteract. 4 rounds to 1 so far in this game, as we head into round number 6, the last one of this half, before we see these two teams swap sides. So we will have to wait and see exactly what happens. Hopefully though, we will see the defense come alive on the side of Vortex Gaming. They're certainly trying everything at this point, of course bringing out some unexpected picks, that being of the Doc and the Capcan. And to my surprise even more, the one that is 6th picking off of those roles is currently the Legion of Maz. Don't know what he's going to swap to. He's swapping to the Frost. It seems like they're going for the trap meta on this one. But of course, then you would have also wanted to maybe keep the Legion in there. Not exactly sure what their plan is with this one, but it's certainly going to be interesting to see what they do with this particular operator lineup. I certainly will always say that Frost is a very good pick on this map. I have a couple of little strats that I like to run with her, it has to be said. Have they tried kitchen or meeting yet? No, Callum. They've tried neither kitchen and meeting or kitchen and dining. They haven't tried either of them. They've just gone basement 4 times, and they've lost it every time, and won top floor once, and hopefully, if they continue that effort, they'll win top floor again, but that's yet to be seen. A Frost map being placed in a default plant spot, a very cheeky little one there, of course, if it's not droned out and called out on the side of Counteract. If they're left in a last-minute execute, a member of Counteract could run in, try and plant in that location. If they don't shoot the Frost mat, then they may get downed in it. And if time is short, and that diffuser doesn't go down, and of course they die. Real Nincompoop though, getting the call that Oshink was being very aggressive on that master bedroom balcony door, and gets instantly fragged out. But Game On gets the trade back. Not quite enough to help with Oshink's cost on this one, as it was after the 5 seconds, but does of course manage to trade back the life of Oshink that was unfortunately lost to that aggressive spawn peak, taking out Connor in the process, who has so far proved to be quite the deadly player on the side of Counteract. And yes, to answer your question, Callum, they have indeed lost basement 4 times. Rounds 1 and 2 were basement, round 3 was played on the top floor, rounds 4 and 5 were on basement, and round 6 that you are now seeing is on the top floor. So, yeah, not really having much to play around with here. A drone now coming out into the master bedroom from Weasty does spot out that, I believe, Mozzie playing behind the bunk. Oh, a beautiful cheeky little headshot there from Weasty from the balcony. Manages to take Game On's head clean off. Try stimming yourself from that dock. Manages to completely clean him off the board, but now we see the likes of Sixpack, who has now fallen back into sight. It's now a 3v4. The numbers have very much gone back in favour on this side of Counteract. Little Dark being on his own some at the moment, playing over in this big tower, deciding exactly what to do. With no wall denial being played, he could get this attic wall open and start pushing through, but deciding better of it and just currently opening up his windows in case he needs to do any rotates. There we are, he's now using those Hibana pellets to start opening the attic, applying pressure from 2 different angles. Currently a little bit scared about a flank or a rotate, but fortunately for him, the 3 remaining members of Vortex Gaming are playing either in sight or just below, as we see the Capcan playing directly underneath the default plant spot. Fizzle with a C4 prepared and ready to go. Maz playing a shield top of white with the frost. And finally, Sixpack just trying to hold down this attic angle, but also watch the cross from the closet wall, which has now been opened by Weasty using that thermite. A nice little pre-fire and a cross there from Maz does collect the head of Weasty Bins, and a prep C4 from Fizzle through the floor collects Real Nincompoop. The numbers are very much now in favour of this Vortex Gaming side. It's now 3v2, and it's now all left up to Little Dark and Unique to push into sight and get this one. They have 30 seconds left to do this, and exactly how they're going to do it I'm not quite sure. But with time not necessarily being on their side, they need to work out where they're going to push and what they're going to do. But like I say, Vortex putting up a very good defense so far. Sixpack pushing up very aggressively out of sight now. Does mean that the rotate from Little does mean he's been able to pick up Fizzle from below. That's no C4 left on the board anyway. And now the execute now comes on sight. He sees the leg of the Frost. He takes off the head of the Frost. Running for default plant now. Sixpack takes out Unique, but Dark pushes through. But Sixpack manages to take the kill. A headshot onto Little Dark completes the round for Vortex, getting them their second defensive round on the board. Meaning that the scoreline is currently 4 rounds to 2 as we head into the second half of this map. A very close but good defense eventually coming out there on the side of Vortex Gaming. Some early picks, meaning they were left in a very disadvantageous position, but eventually with some very cool-headed plays were able to eventually claw their way back, getting kill after kill. A very nice swing from Maz from his shield, collected the head of Weasty, and then also a prep C4 from below from Fizzle, got Nincompoop. Put the score very much back in their favour, and then at that point they just managed to keep it on their side until the very end, where they eventually won that one out. To give you guys a little bit of an update on the Expansion versus Zodiac game, the first map we saw them go to today was Consulate. So we saw Zodiac win that one out 7 rounds to 2 against Expansion. And the second map should be just getting underway. They are going on to, I can't remember what map they're on. Let me just double check that one for you. They are going on to Clubhouse. If you want to go over and see Expansion versus Zodiac being played on Clubhouse, then please head over to watch that on Rainbow Six Chanka's channel right now. However, if you do want to see the conclusion of this game, then please feel free to stick around. It's certainly turning out to be an interesting one, with of course some interesting rehosts, some issues here and there, but also some very good siege in the end being played out between these two teams, with Vortex coming away from their defensive half in a 2-round deficit to the side of Counteract. Counteract, of course, deciding to go for a site that Vortex just did not touch at all on their defensive, going to the dining and kitchen site, deciding to do a stronghold here, bringing the castle, who's been bought by Weasty here, doing a standard setup, you could say, using that castle to cut off certain rotates and certain doorways while they push in, but also holding on quite nicely to this shower room. Little rotates being put in place, still some setup being done, so a rush from Vortex here could prove crucial. And oh my goodness, is that Connor? Indeed it is, it's Connor with the Alder on the roam, currently down in laundry storage. Now, it's not very often that you get to see a roaming maestro, so let's see whether Connor is able to make this one work for him. He sees a couple of the gridlocks on the floor that have been used to shut down this rotate over here. However, he doesn't need to go through into garage, so it won't really affect him too much. Side of Vortex is mainly just trying to get this top floor control at the moment. You see the Ash and the Zofia playing around the bunk bedroom, kids bedroom, and the trophy room. And now we see the likes of Gridlock putting some rotate traps down for her team. The floor being opened up here by the likes of Vortex Gaming. This is certainly how they like to play. Start opening up from above and applying pressure down the side as Unique takes a bit of damage from Maz through the floor there. Quite a bit of damage being done both onto Unique but also back onto Maz, so neither really walking away winning that gunfight. Connor though takes a lot of health damage as he managed to pick up his first kill onto Maz. The roaming Maestro working so far. There's now pre-fire from Fizzle just holding down that fire button, waiting for Connor to swing. Unfortunately he doesn't swing, meaning that Fizzle is now just waiting for him to push around. Finally, eventually getting that reload done. A little bit of pre-fire through the wall nearly collects Connor, but he doesn't quite manage it. Now Connor just sat in this little closet room here. A flank trying to come up from the Twitch, but they don't know the fact that Connor has remained in this little closet. He's pre-firing out, and Game On eventually gets a little dark, and Fizzle does also get Connor, as Game On also claims the head of Unique. It's now a 4v2. Ying's now coming into sight as Game On drops in, trying to push on in, misses so many bullets, but eventually managing to get the kill. That is just Weasty left in a 1v3, flying to play around. He does get a shotgun, it whips it out and manages to get a double kill, but unfortunately for him, Sixpack drops the hatch as well, and a nice little headshot eventually finishes him off. Very well played there, attacking around from the likes of Vortex. Does see them winning their first defensive round against Counteract, securing themselves another round on the board, and bringing this scoreline ever closer together. Will this be the map that we see in OT between these two teams, or will this one go very much in favour of one team over the other? There is still much to be played for in this one as I take a quick sip of my water, because if you can't already tell, my throat's getting a tiny bit raw. The roam there, of course, coming out from Connor on the Maestro, proving that it can be done, but unfortunately maybe not as effective as he would have liked, having lost that gunfight against the Gridlock as he swung from the master bedroom doorway, closet doorway, sorry, on to the Gridlock playing trophy. If he'd maybe been able to pick up that kill, then it would have helped alleviate some of the pressure that was then applied later on to the rest of his team from above by the likes of Vortex Gaming. Hello Bivish, welcome back. So, to summarise what you've missed so far, you missed Vortex Gaming not being able to win on the defensive when they went into basement, but only ever being able to win when they went upstairs into the kids' bedroom dorms. So that means 4 rounds they went downstairs in the basement, 2 rounds they went upstairs into dorms. The first attacking round we did see Vortex take as the role swapped, where we saw Counteract go into the dining and meeting room, not dining and meeting, dining and kitchen. From there, Vortex were eventually able to win that one out. We also saw a rehost due to a player suffering a disconnect right at the very beginning of the round, but unfortunately it wasn't called correctly by the side of Counteract, so they will receive a verbal warning after this game for not calling the rehost before they actually just up and left the game. So that will be addressed after the game. For now though, we have lots more Siege to play as we see the scoreline going 4 rounds to 3 in favour of Counteract. Seems like Vortex Gaming are setting up for a bit of a rush here. Maz on the Amaru, preparing maybe to go in through the kids' window. Yes, indeed, preparing out there, just waiting for the call to be made. Game On is already in, the flash is coming out, but shots coming from the kids' bedroom does take him out. Weasty collects Maz as he comes in, but the Blitz is now pressuring onto Little Dark, but Little Dark does manage to pick him off. Sixpack does get a refrag back in favour of Vortex though, as Fizzle unfortunately disconnects from the game. Hopefully he's back by the next round. We will have a quick pause after this to let him do so. But now a Shink and Sixpack left in a 2v4 situation. Sixpack already being in sight though does do a lot of damage onto Weasty, but not able to fully finish him off. Real Nincompoop does finish off a Shink, and now Sixpack is left in a 1v4 situation. Flicks coming out but not quite managing it, and finally a C4 thrown behind that silver bunk by Nincompoop finishes him off. Counteract being able to perfectly deny that rush that was attempted to be made on the side of Vortex. Like I say, we're just going to have a quick pause to allow Fizzle to join back into this one. Hopefully there's no issues on that end, but we'll just wait and see. Just want a quick pause. I'll let him join back. So far though, some interesting some interesting stuff being brought out on both sides. This team is a joke. Which one, Curly? We'll find out. 1 second, I just need to see to something else. There we go. Go back and play ranked. Yeah, the rushers. Okay, Fizz has to go, just play. We're going to be in a 4v5 from now on. I think that's maybe why the side of Vortex Gaming were trying to get a rush done as quickly as possible. Unfortunately though, it ended up being that they were not able to get another round on the board, but it does see them unfortunately being left in this 4v5 for the remainder of the game by the sounds of it, as Fizzle has unfortunately had to leave. So this one certainly looks very much in favour of Counteract. For those of you who did put your money on Vortex winning, unfortunately I do think you're going to be losing some of it today, having now seen them in a 4v5. But stranger things have happened in a game of Siege, and we may actually see Vortex Gaming be able to win this, pull this one back, even though they are currently stuck in this disadvantageous position. Downstairs being the site of choice once again for Counteract, or did I say once again, have they played this? I can't remember, to be perfectly honest with you guys. No, they haven't. This is their first time of coming here. We saw them going kitchen and dining as their very first site, and then we saw them go upstairs into the kids' bedroom and silver bunk, whatever it's called. So now we see them going down into this basement. Once again bringing, well, for them, bringing the mirror, like we saw the side of Vortex Gaming doing. Will it prove crucial to their hold? Yet to be. We will have to wait and see on that one. The hatch, though, above this mirror in meeting has not yet been reinforced. Is that an oversight on the side of Counteract? The call has possibly been made now as Little Dark now pushes through, but no, he avoids meeting completely. It seems that there may still be reinforcements left in the pool, and that meeting hatch has just not been done. Like I say, quite a big oversight on the side of Counteract, if this is able to be punished and pushed by the likes of Vortex Gaming. Connor Wilson somehow able to win that gunfight against Oshink, just managed to whip up that MP5K a little bit faster than unfortunately Oshink is able to whip up that R4C, winning that gunfight by collecting Oshink's head, but not walking away unscathed from that one, as he is on about 30 hit points. Game On playing the Blackbeard does manage to take out Little Dark, who was on the roam. Does take a lot of damage to his shield in the process. Maybe would have died next season with, of course, the changes coming to Blackbeard's shield. He's having another nerf onto his shield, reducing the hit points on it. Six-pack though, able to pick up the head of Weasty, playing around this Monty here. A very good pick coming out from the side of Counteract. Not Counteract, sorry, Vortex Gaming. Could result in the win for this one, but a nice little swing from, I believe, Nincompoop collects the head of Six-pack, using that SMG-11 very well. Now Smokes being pressured against this Monty. Maz managing to back away. He does not want to face up against those Smokes, as he is on about 20 hit points, 15 if that. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly how this one works out. A little cheeky one-tap coming out there does take a bit of damage off of Nincompoop, but doesn't land the head, as Unique does manage to claim the head himself onto Game On. And now Maz, the Monty, is left in a 1v3 with only about 10 to 15 hit points left. It looks like he's maybe trying to save KD at the moment, maybe have a little chat with his team, decide on what they're going to do next. Or just see if an opportunity presents itself for him to push into sight. He's certainly very scared of that smoke. The smoke, of course, could very easily put him down and out on the ground with those remaining smoke canisters, although I don't think he has any. He's got one left in pocket. And of course, with such low health, Maz just has to eat one charge of that smoke, and he's dead on the floor. But yes, good point, Callum. Saving that 0.2 KD. Unfortunately, though, on the side of Vortex, it does seem that their fifth member has unfortunately had to go due to the real world calling, whether that's, of course, he's not allowed on anymore or something else has changed. Unfortunately, does mean we are currently seeing this a 3v1. Well, 5v4 overall. Connor now challenging the Monty. Hitfire coming out, but Connor hits the deck and shoots Maz in the toes, taking him out and putting him flat on his arse, and securing another round for the side of Counteract. It sounds like somebody else had left. Yes, indeed. Seems the remaining members of Vortex have left. Maybe they are going for... Not sure what's happening here. Going to pause timer, wait for confirmation in the chat. They might be going for a forfeit at this point. Rehost. So what has now been called is a rehost between these two teams. Apologies everybody that we are having to go through this all again. Got to abandon the match and get this one all set up. Hopefully I remember all the rounds that have happened so far. I think I do, so I'll just have to wait and see. Oh, this is, yeah, just pulling my mind, putting my mind to the test as we try and get back into this one as quickly as possible. Don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer since we've already seen one rehost so far between these ones. I'll get it underway nice and quick. Create a spectator. Ta-da-da-da. And I will get everybody invited right back into this one, and I'll get the remainder set up while they are joining back. Invite. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back with you as soon as possible, and we'll get back into this action, and we'll see the conclusion of this game. But for now, I just need to focus on getting all of this set up and sorted. So bear with me 1 minute while I sort out the bands. Just Thatcher and Ace. And Goyo and Clash. I need to see what side everybody goes to. I'll sort that one out at the end, but we need to add rounds. First round went in favour of our Flamehack. I need to see what teams are going on, what sides. Okay, so it does seem that they're that way round, which does mean that attackers will be orange team, attacking OT, so therefore orange team won against supply, orange team won against supply, blue team won kids dorms, orange won against supply, orange won against supply, blue win top floor, blue win against kitchen dining, orange win against kids dorms, and then orange win in the basement. That should be everything now up to date, as long as both of these teams are ready. All ready. Just need to get the confirmation from the side of Connor. Well, Counteract, as soon as I've been given the go-ahead, we'll get straight back into this one. Let's get this one back underway. That was a nice and quick rehost for you guys. You don't have to be sitting around too long. That's what we like to see. Fortunately able to get back into this one nice and quick. And we will proceed from where we left off, which was seeing round number 10. The blue team of Vortex now on the attack. The orange team of Counteract being on the defensive and currently with match point in their pocket. I completely missed the fact that we reached match point because of all the action that was going on and everybody missing. It's quite difficult to try and keep your eye on, but this may be the rounds that Counteract need to just finish off this best of two with the win that they wanted, securing themselves the 3 points that will see them to the top of the league at the moment. Hopefully, though, Vortex are still hoping and praying that they're able to get at least one map win under their belt. But looking at some of their picks, unless, of course, Game On is an absolute Glas god, I would certainly put my money on Counteract winning out this one. It certainly seems that Vortex have kind of given up a little bit with this lineup. But then again, stranger things have happened at sea, and we may see something special come out on the side of Vortex. This might be the exact lineup that they've been missing so far this evening, and this is what they're able to use to break the spirit and defense of Counteract. We'll just have to wait and see on this one as Counteract now head back to the kitchen and dining site. Once again doing a setup, seeing if they can hold it and play this site better than they did previously. Of course, with 2 rehosts having occurred, it's going to be difficult to tell what the stats are for people with kills and everything at this point. They will be gathered by myself or Connor at some point over the next week or so, and once they've been gathered they will be posted and shared with all of you on the Discord at some point. So we will hopefully have those up to date, and hopefully as well we'll catch up so much with the stats that I'm able to actually be using them to talk about some of the players while we're currently in games. I'll have like an overall stats sheet for both operator pick rates, but also looking at like certain stats and everything. So Shink here playing the 3x scope on the Dekebi. Quite a dangerous marksman rifle, of course, if you have a very good trigger finger, very good single fire weapon aim, then this gun can be deadly in the right hands. Currently though, we see the side of Vortex Gaming trying to push on to the bottom of these white stairs and also push on into the main door. We do see the Ella of Connor playing below on the roam a little bit, just waiting for that intel to be announced to him, so he knows where to push up from. Currently playing at the bottom of the laundry stairs as Dekebi is currently clearing out this castle position. Shots coming out from underneath that castle barricade. We saw Nincompoop getting a cheeky angle there, shooting the toes of Maz a little bit. Now taking a little bit more damage as the floor is opened up. I think he did that to himself though. I'm not quite sure. Well, it was Zofia getting a charge a little bit too close. Does seem like Maz has gone for the DMR on Twitch, which is a bit of an interesting choice. Just walking around, shooting through the floor. Does seem like he's landed a few shots onto some people. Not quite sure whether that was Maz or whether that was the likes of Oshink. But Little Dart though manages to pick up Oshink. But Unique is down in sight. Currently not safe either from the madman of Maz, who is just walking around pre-firing that floor with the DMR. Quite a deadly gun as well. But Connor has managed to get upstairs, manages to take out the likes of Fizzle playing above, but Maz manages to instantly flick onto Connor as the information was not there for him to collect that kill. A 4v3 now though, with the Glaz, the Zofia, and the Twitch still being left on the board. Nincompoop though makes this a 4v2 as he collects the head of 6-pack. And now we see a game on and Maz try and clutch this one out. Try and extend this game a little bit longer for the likes of Vortex. But certainly with them being in this 2-1 deficit, it's certainly not looking good for them, as well we see Counteract sat on that match point. Just one round is all that they need to walk away with the 3 points that put them to the top of the leaderboard and secure them the win of this best of 2. Little Dart taking quite a bit of damage there though through the footholes from Maz, still playing above with 40 seconds left on the clock. A nade being thrown though from the likes of Game On does actually do a bit of damage onto Maz through the floor with those current shrapnel mechanics being in play. Glaz looking around, seeing if he can spot him. He sees a little bit of yellow on the side of Weasty, who's playing that castle, but he does get downed in the process. Maz collects Weasty, but Little Dark there answering back. Headshots Maz cleanly in the security room and secures round number 7 for, well, secures the win for the side of Counteract, and round number 10 goes in favour of Counteract, who have won this best of 2 and secured themselves the 3 points that they need to catapult themselves to the very top of the leaderboard so far. RNS though will be in second place, and they currently are about 2 or 3 games behind, so there is still plenty that can be done on that front. But very well played for both these teams. Unfortunately, due to some issues, we maybe were a little bit interrupted in this second game, so I apologise for that for all of you tuning in today. But I hope overall the games that you saw today were still good, enjoyable, and you enjoyed tuning in to watch myself cast this one for you. So as I said, Counteract come away with the 2-game win from this best of 2. We see Counteract winning 7-3 on both maps, the first map being Theme Park, the second map being Oregon. Had some issues on Oregon, but these will be resolved outside on the Discord separately. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for tuning in, and a heartily congratulations to both of these teams today. Played incredibly well, some very close and exciting siege coming out from both of them. Certainly made it very enjoyable for me to cast, which is what I always look forward to. Anyway, I just need to sort out these predictions for all of those of you that put your money on Counteract. Enjoy your channel points. For all of those of you that voted on Vortex, I'm sorry, but unfortunately you didn't win this one. Come back next time when you can hopefully bet on the winning team, and you'll see what, hopefully, that you can get some more channel points in your pocket. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's just about it for me, as my dinner is almost ready as well. So this has been perfect timing for me this evening. Just want to let you know that tomorrow, in this very same league, there will be a game being played, Paradox versus RNS, starting at around 7 o'clock. This will be streamed by the likes of... Where's my schedule? This will be streamed by the likes of Connor Wilson. I'm not 100% sure of his Twitch channel, but of course, if you are in the Discord, then... excuse me, if you are in the Discord, then the live link will be shared once the game does go live, so you'll be able to go over and enjoy that game there. It's looking to be an interesting one, as RNS currently are going in undefeated. Hopefully Paradox can end their win streak, but we'll just have to wait and see exactly how that one plays out. Once again, thank you all for tuning in with me today and joining me to watch this incredibly close game, but well, enjoyable game between Vortex Gaming and Counteract. Hope you all had a lovely time and would like to come back again in the future. If, of course, you did like my content, then if you haven't already, please consider dropping a follow. It costs you nothing and greatly helps me out, and it'd be greatly appreciated as well. So if you haven't done already, please do drop me a follow. Of course, if you do want to support me a little bit more, then you can now subscribe to me. It costs you a little bit of money, so no pressure in doing this. This is not compulsory, but of course, if you do want to help me out and do enjoy my stuff, then it would be greatly appreciated and does help me out no end. That's all from me today, though. Thank you very much for watching. I'm just going to run 60 seconds of ads right at the very end to help me out a little bit more. But for now, that's everything from me. Hope you all have a lovely evening and see you all tomorrow. Peace.